10 terrifying ancient weapons that science still can't explain. Throughout history, humans have created increasingly powerful weapons. But some of the strangest and most terrifying ones don't belong to the modern world. They come from the ancient world. Civilizations like the Romans, the Greeks, the Chinese, and the Persians developed weapons so advanced for their time that they still raise questions among historians and scientists today. Some used technologies that seemed impossible for their era. Others were so cruel that even the writers of the time described them with fear. Today we're going to explore 10 terrifying weapons from the ancient world that science still struggles to explain.
1. Greek fire.
The first weapon is the legendary Greek fire. A weapon created by the Byzantine Empire that could burn even on water. Soldiers launched it from ships using metal tubes, almost like an ancient flamethrower. When the burning liquid touched the sea, it didn't go out. Instead, the flames spread across the surface of the water. Imagine an enemy ship surrounded by fire, with no possible escape. Historians still don't know exactly what ingredients were used in this mixture. The formula was lost more than 1,000 years ago. And to this day, no one has been able to recreate it with complete certainty.
2. Archimedes' heat ray.
The second weapon sounds like something from a science fiction movie. The so-called Archimedes heat ray. According to ancient sources, the famous scientist Archimedes designed a system of giant mirrors. When enemy ships approached the city of Syracuse, soldiers would align the mirrors and reflect sunlight toward them.
The result?
The sails of the ships began to burn. Some modern scientists have tried to recreate this experiment. Some say it could work. Others believe it's just a legend. But the idea of a solar weapon in the ancient world remains one of the most fascinating mysteries in history.
3. Damascus steel swords.
The famous Damascus steel sword were known for their incredible power. These swords could cut through armor and keep an extremely sharp edge for years. But the most mysterious part is the material. The steel had unique wavy patterns, almost as if the metal were alive. For centuries, blacksmiths tried to recreate this type of steel, without success. Even today, scientists are still studying its microscopic structure. Some research suggests it may contain nanostructures inside the metal. Something that seems almost impossible for medieval technology.
4. The Persian poison gas.
During a battle between Romans and Persians in the 3rd century, something strange happened. In an underground tunnel near the city of Dura-Europos, archaeologists discovered the skeletons of Roman soldiers. But the most disturbing detail was the cause of their death. It's believed that Persian soldiers used toxic smoke created by burning sulfur and bitumen. The gas quickly filled the tunnel. Roman soldiers suffocated within minutes. Some researchers consider this one of the earliest chemical weapons in history.
5. The Roman Scorpio.
The Scorpio was a Roman war machine. It looked like a massive crossbow mounted on a stand. But its power was impressive. It could fire large metal bolts with incredible precision. From long distances, these bolts could pierce shields, armor, and sometimes even several soldiers standing in a line. It was so accurate that the Romans often used it to eliminate specific enemies on the battlefield. 6. The Persian scythe chariot. Imagine a war chariot racing toward an enemy army. Now imagine massive spinning blades attached to its wheels. That was the scythe chariot. The Persians used these chariots to break enemy formations. When they crashed into the lines of soldiers, the blades cut through everything in their path. Legs, weapons, shields. Chaos spread instantly. Many armies panicked before the chariot even reached them. 7. The Chinese repeating crossbow. In ancient China, a surprisingly advanced weapon was developed.
The Chu-Ko Nu.
This crossbow could fire multiple bolts in quick succession without needing to reload each time. The soldier simply moved a lever forward and backward. Each movement fired another bolt. Although the bolts were smaller, the firing speed made up for the lack of power. A single soldier could unleash a storm of projectiles in just a few seconds.
8. The claw of Archimedes.
Another invention attributed to Archimedes was known as the claw of Archimedes. A massive mechanism installed on the walls of Syracuse. When an enemy ship got too close, a giant crane-like claw would drop down onto it. The mechanism lifted the ship partially out of the water, then suddenly released it. Many ships capsized or broke apart when they crashed back into the sea. To enemy soldiers, it must have looked almost like magic.
9. Giant catapults.
Catapult were some of the most feared machines of the ancient world. They could launch massive stones against walls, cities, or entire armies. But sometimes, the projectiles were even more horrifying. In some wars, Armies launched animal corpses or even infected bodies. The goal was to spread disease inside besieged cities. A primitive form of biological warfare. 10. The mysterious battle powders. Some ancient texts describe even stranger weapons. Powders or substances that could cause explosions or instant fires. In some accounts from Asian wars, there are descriptions of materials that created blinding flashes of light and explosive smoke. Some historians believe these might have been early experiments with gunpowder. Others believe the descriptions were exaggerated over time. But the truth is that many of these technologies remain a mystery. The history of the ancient world is full of surprising inventions. Some of these weapons were incredibly advanced for their time. Others were so devastating that they changed the way wars were fought. And although archaeologists continue to study them, some of these technologies are still not fully understood. Which reminds us of something fascinating. Even after thousands of years, the past still holds many secrets.